People often adopt external personas or behaviors that contrast with their internal struggles or desires. It's a form of overcompensation, projecting an image that masks underlying issues. Bullies, for instance, may act aggressively to conceal their own insecurities and lack of self-esteem. Boisterous extroverts can harbor deep reservoirs of self-doubt, and critics who mock societal norms from a seemingly detached standpoint may secretly crave the very things they publicly deride. External displays can serve as defense mechanisms, shielding one's authentic longings from scrutiny. Underneath the projected persona lies an altogether different internal reality. As Hikigaya Hachiman, the cynical and introspective protagonist, I view the social dynamics of youth and high school life with disdain. I consider the entire experience a superficial facade propagated by insincere individuals more concerned with deception than authenticity. Through this critical lens, I constantly analyze and pass judgment on my observations, having already formed preconceived notions. Seemingly repelled by these perceived trivialities, I intentionally isolate myself, taking pride in my self-proclaimed loner status. I actively cultivate an unlikable persona, donning a bitter expression and actively avoiding meaningful connections with others, apart from my sister. My general disgust for what I deem shallow social performances fuels my distancing from peers and defensive individuality. Despite my introspective nature, I engage in a degree of self-deception on a surface level, even as I'm aware of this dishonesty deep within. We are shaped by our environments, and my past experiences have taught me that the world is an inhospitable nightmare where I don't belong. Throughout my early life, I was shunned, ridiculed, rejected, bullied, and dismissed at every turn, conditioning me to feign indifference. I've come to believe that revealing any vulnerability or weakness behind my cynical facade is inherently bad, and that any kindness or sympathy shown toward me is merely disingenuous condescension. But do I truly believe that wholeheartedly? Or do I still harbor a glimmer of hope, buried deep down, that someone will show me genuine, unconditional kindness? I cultivate a repulsive persona to preemptively distance myself from others, artificially creating barriers so I don't experience the pain of dishonesty and rejection again. I rationalize this as stubborn defiance against conformity, a refusal to lose. But truthfully, I'm uncomfortable with vulnerability because honesty has only brought me hurt in the past. I desperately want to believe others can be kind, but my deeply ingrained mistrust won't allow it. And yet, my genuine, compassionate nature still manages to shine through. The world seems bleak to me. I convince myself I don't need others or connection to feel fulfilled. But I'm lying, making excuses to avoid potential heartbreak. I am inherently a caring person, but having been burned so many times by crushed romantic hopes, by cruel cliques, I've been conditioned to never trust or open up as a byproduct of school life trauma. I've built up a self-narrative of worthlessness and low self-esteem. I don't believe I deserve happiness. And yet, in a poignant display of humanity's longing for truth and connection, I still yearn to help people despite my cynical outer philosophy. The service club provides an avenue to express this altruism, though my methods are often radically self-sacrificing to a fault, enduring humiliation after humiliation to assist others, suffering to maintain relationship status quo rather than addressing deeper roots. I'm a kind soul, yearning to communicate this warmth but so wounded and withdrawn, I don't know how. Self-deprecation is my habitual default. It's a sad state, constantly striving to convey care, but too frightened of vulnerability and rejection to do so properly. I refuse most help, partly to avoid exposing weakness, partly because I don't feel deserving. I'm paralyzed by fear of being used or hurt again. An unhealthy, unsustainable existence. But the caring efforts of Uegahama and Yukino disrupt this pattern. Their comfort and compassion is unfamiliar territory I struggle to conceptualize after so much pain. Yet eventually, recognizing the harm I'm causing those I love, I find the resolve to change.